In this episode of the Bar Business Podcast, discover the hidden bottlenecks slowing down your bar service, master simple systems that double your serving speed, and learn training techniques that increase efficiency without increasing mistakes. Hello, and welcome to the Bar Business Podcast, where we help bar owners increase profits, attract loyal guests, and simplify operations so you can avoid burnout and finally enjoy your life outside of your bar. I'm your host, Chris Schneider, the Bar Business Coach. Before we get started, a quick thank you to our sponsors, Spot On, who provide a great modern POS solution for the bar and restaurant industry, and Starfish, who use AI to turn your books into actionable steps to increase profits. Today, we'll be diving into why your bartenders might be moving slower than they should, and more importantly, how you can implement systems and dramatically improve speed without compromising your drink or service quality. And this is something that troubles a lot of bar owners. Obviously, the more efficient that we can make our team, the more production we can have, the more revenue we can have without increasing our labor costs. So efficiency is something that always should be top of mind. And when we're really talking about speed problems with our bartenders, they come from two places. One of them is training. The other one is setup. And what we're mostly going to talk about today is setup and system implementation, but we are going to talk about training some as well. The real thing here is that we have to understand the problem. So if we have slow service, we lose revenue. It also has a negative impact on your guest satisfaction because guests who get bad service aren't going to tend to come back. Additionally, if you have a slow bartender that's not doing what they should to keep up your service well, this can make your servers angry and lead to frustration and burnout and cause huge ripple effects throughout your entire service. But with all of that said, sometimes we think that when we talk about becoming more efficient, increasing our speed, we mean to do things in a chaotic and hectic manner, and that's absolutely not what I'm saying. Something that I think is important to remember at all times. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So we want to be slow and deliberate in everything we do, but we want to do that slow and deliberately in a way that produces fast service. I know that sounds kind of contradictory, but it really is about setting yourself up with the tools and support that your bartenders need so that they can slowly but smoothly move through their service, which in turn means that they will actually be operating at a fast pace. As we go through today's episode, we're going to start by talking about bar setup and flow, jump into a little bit about system implementation, and then wrap up with training for speed. So when it comes to bar setup and flow, I should say, the first thing we need to look at is optimizing our well organization. And why optimize our well organization? Well, I said this a lot of times before on the podcast, and this is something I absolutely believe and have seen to be true bar after bar after bar. The less steps your bartender has to take, the more efficient they are, period. So if we can organize that well where they can grab bottles and pour easily, they're going to be more efficient and more effective at their job. In addition to the well being organized well, we need to make sure our glassware is placed in a convenient location. There's a bar that closed kind of down the street from me that was set up so poorly. You'd order one drink and you'd watch the bartender walk around for 5 minutes just getting glassware, getting garnishes, getting the actual drinks out of the well. That's inefficient and that does not work. So make sure that your well is set up properly and that your glassware is where it needs to be so that your bartender does not have to leave that station at all to handle most of the drinks that you are serving. Now, what are some other things that you can do? You can pre-batch some of your cocktails. In pre-batching your cocktails, it depends on your jurisdiction where you live, whether or not that's legal. But when you can pre-batch cocktails, you can increase your speed hugely. Because if you think about it, if you take something simple like a Long Island iced tea, let's say you have a Long Island iced tea special. That is 4 or 5 bottles worth of booze, mixers, all this stuff going together. If you just mix the alcohol components together, now you're pouring out of 1 bottle instead of 4, and that increases your speed amazingly. Also, beyond what we just talked about, think about your garnishes. Are you using cocktails that have garnishes that are so complex that it's always going to be slow to serve those cocktails? And if so, are you the type of bar that needs to serve slow cocktails? I mean, if you're a high-end cocktail bar, then absolutely, yeah, you need those high-end cocktails, you need those high-end garnishes, you need the complex drinks. But if you're a neighborhood bar, a complex drink is going to do nothing except slow you down. So look not only at streamlining how your garnishes are arranged, but the garnishes that you're using. And the last point I will make on getting your bar set up and flow proper, this is something that I see a lot of problems with at a lot of different places. Make sure that you have easy access to ice. It's amazing how many times I will see a bar owner set up a bar station where ice is inefficient. And that is actually what's slowing us down. When ice goes into pretty much every cocktail you will ever make involves ice at one step or another. So we build from setting up our stations properly and getting the flow right to system implementation. Now, when I say system implementation, what do I really mean? Well, are your drinks standardized? I mean, literally every drink that you sell should be standardized, especially your specialty cocktail menu. Now, are you going to have people that come in and order something that no one's ever heard of from 1970 in Florida, and you're going to Google it and then make it? Absolutely. That always happens. But to the extent that you can, standardize and train every single drink that is normal for your bar. The other thing you need to do is really work on, with your system implementation, creating systems that have your bartenders make multiple drinks at once. One drink at a time coming out from behind a busy bar is never going to be efficient. So you need to be able to give your bartenders priority orders, understanding, hey, this comes first, this comes second, this comes third. You also need to give them training on how to look at 5 tickets at once and start making items that are on every ticket. Now, one of the big reasons that you want to actually standardize and schedule out this priority order for making drinks is because certain drinks are going to suffer greatly if they become diluted. So the drinks that you are worried about going out super cold, or the drinks that you're worried about dilution, those need to be made last. But there are other drinks you can make before that. That a little bit of dilution is not going to hurt. So standardize that order that you want bartenders to make things in, and standardize approaches to handling 3, 4, 5 tickets at a time. Additionally, create clear communication protocols, right? Have people understand, hey, if you don't have ice behind the bar, you need to do X, Y, and Z, and the manager will get you ice, or the bar back will get you ice, whoever will get you ice. But make sure there are clear communication protocols and clear ways for people to get requests of what they need in order to be successful. Now, finally, in system implementation, you want to implement ticket management. Now, when I say ticket management, the paper receipts that you get and to make a drink from. Those should all go the same way with drinks. The drinks should all be in the same order, right? If it's top of the ticket is the first drink in line, then middle and back, or top of the ticket is the last drink in line. So that way the order that the ticket reads and the order that the drinks are in are the same. However you decide to do that, standardize it, make sure people understand it and know it so that there's never a problem with a server needing to grab a bartender to ask them what drink is what. And that's especially important when you're dealing with draft beer, because let's be honest, a lot of draft beer, especially if you're doing lagers, which seems to be the trend right now, all lagers look alike. So you need to have a way to understand how your tickets get used on every order, every time. Now, real quickly, the final piece here would be training. So you want to have your bartenders get muscle memory for doing these tasks based on how you've set up your bar systems and flow. And that means they need to practice specific movements to build muscle memory. They need to actually just be able to stand there with their eyes closed behind your bar and make drinks. Sounds crazy, but it is possible. I've seen people do it before. Time your service standards. So know exactly what your ticket time should be. Know exactly what your build time on every cocktail on your cocktail list should be. Know exactly how long it should take to pour 3 beers if everything's running smoothly. Then try to hold people to those standards. Now, a great way to hold people to those standards is to create friendly competitions where they can go and compete against each other on time. It's fun. It's engaging. It allows you to give the best people on your team a little prize or benefit at the end of a competition, but it also builds camaraderie and pushes people to be better. And the final note about training for speed would be to monitor and adjust techniques as you go, right? Every time we train something, normally the first way we approach something is good, but not great. And we don't want to be good. We want to be great. So monitor and adjust your techniques. Monitor and adjust how you're training your team to do things as you move along. Now remember, speed is not about rushing. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Speed is about smart systems, efficient setups, and proper training. By implementing these strategies, you can significantly increase your service speed while maintaining or even improving your drink quality. That about wraps it up for today. If you enjoyed today's insights, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a review. If you are ready to take your bar to the next level, schedule a strategy session with me by clicking the link in the show notes below. Until next time, have a great day, and we will talk again later.